everybody who don't know, I'm Chris Lemuel Desir, and this is gonna be the second ever episode of TWB Together We Build. And what is Together We Build is real quick. It is people, real people, like me, like Clarkson, just doing the best we can to build up ourselves and to build up our community as a whole. We're not here to scam anybody. We're not here to put out any information that would be wrongful or harmful. We really genuinely care about like the growth, the future of not only ourselves but the community and the world around us. This is why like we have this team. We're trying to get this together. We're trying to get as many people as we can onto the scene. And that's just my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents on the matter. I'm gonna switch over to Clarkson now.
That's a fact. This is T.W.B. Our main goal is to build, and that's what we're gonna do. My name is Clarkson. That's the acronym that I've created for myself, and it's the name I go by. I made it because of I was inspired by the great Malcolm X, and it stands for consciousness, loyalty, observation, clarity, knowledge, self-respect. The Y stands for the yin yang, the balance of everything, and the N stands for the never give up. So that's what I go by, Clarkson. And yeah, we're here to build, just like you said, because that's what we need to do. That's what we need to be doing on a 24/7 basis, and that's the only way we're gonna really see things, manifest into this world is if we build with each other. So
that's fact. That's fact. All right, and the topic for today I wanted to bring up, and then I'm just gonna go right off the dome like I usually do, let it flow. Is going to be self-mastery. Now, when me, Clarkson, and our other co-host Naga, when he ever decides to get in here, right? Well, we decided on this name, self-mastery. We decided on the main 5 core topics we're gonna do. This is one of the biggest ones, self-mastery. What is self-mastery? It is basically alchemy. It's basically going from whatever current state you are right now and evolving yourself to a state where you want to be in the future. So if you're at a current state right now where you want to make X amount of money, and let's say right now you barely have enough money to pay your bills, right? And you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, you don't know where to start. Self-mastery is getting yourself to a point where you can go from barely being able to pay your bills to a point where you have more than enough money that you can handle. And this is not just teaching people how to make money. This is anything. If you feel like you have a lack of self-confidence, you feel like you have fear of what is the unknown, this is really going to be how to master your mind. How to master your mind. Because before you can do anything, you have to believe you can do it first. Before you can go out and try or test anything, the idea has to come in your head first. If you don't, for example, right, and I have to give credit where credit is due, where I got this specific example from, young Pharaoh, right? If you don't know how to swim, and you've never seen a pool before, you've never seen the water not a day in your life, and then somebody comes up to you and says, hey, we should go swimming. You're going to be like, what's that? You've never heard of the term swimming before. You've never seen water. You don't know what it is. And then that person takes you from your environment where there's no place to swim at all to the beach for the first time. You're going to be like, your mind is going to be blown because you've never seen water before like that. You never even had the concept or idea in your mind to swim. This is why I say everything that you know that you want to do, it starts in your mind first. You got to be aware of the fact that you can do it. Let's go back to the earlier example I just brought up when I'm talking about the person who doesn't know how to make money and has little to no money. You don't know how to make money. It's not that you can't make money. You just don't have the idea in your head already implanted that you can do it yet. This is what self-mastery is about. Getting yourself to a point where you know for a fact how to, and bigger than that, know for a fact that you can achieve whatever goal, desire, dream that you want. This is what we're going to be talking about here today.
I love that he mentioned that, because when it comes to self-mastery, in order to master yourself, you have to see where you lack. You have to see what you don't have, what you need to get, or what you can't do at the moment in time. But the true essence of it is to know that you can do it and you have the ability to. So for me personally, I definitely want to start going over some examples of how you pushed over those new levels and climbed those mountains to be able to master yourself. And I'll also answer questions that you have about me, so we can kind of give a general explanation of how it's even possible. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are just so far. I wouldn't say far. They're just in this. They're just in their own bubble, basically. They're in their own
They're
bubble.
in the cycle.
Yeah, and anything outside of that is just they literally do not have access to it because of their thought process. So, for me personally, the reason why I always have this type of attitude to where I can do anything as long as I put my mind to it is honestly because, like he said, you have to see it. I saw it from Dragon Ball Z. That's where I learned it from. Seeing his character Goku push past every single limit put in front of him honestly inspired me to be like, I could do the same thing. You know, if I'm at my weak stage and I see something I can't overcome, I'll do what he did. I'll train, come back, and overcome it. You know, break through my limits. So honestly, that's how I personally got the the power to know that if I want to master myself, I need to look at every side of me that I can't do, test myself, push myself to the limit, and then surpass it. That's how I got it.
I like that he brought that up too, especially if you grew up around the same era that we did. If you grew up in the TV generation, the anime generation, things like that too. Honestly, if I gotta be keep it 100, Dragon Ball Z anime was probably one of the first places I've ever saw too that really brought up this concept of having somebody, having some sort of a person trying to tell you that you're not as great as them, and then to have this courage in within yourself to know that no, you're not at their level yet, but you have the ability to one day get to that level. That's probably for me too where it first started, but I picked it up subconsciously. I wasn't consciously thinking of that when I was a kid. My first
Yeah.
conscious experience of realizing that I can become something greater than I was really at the start of high school, because for most of my early childhood into middle school, mostly middle school when I was a kid, I was bullied. I was bullied. I had a lot of verbal bullying. I got into a couple of fights when I was a kid, and people really lowered my self esteem. People actually subconsciously planted into my mind I was a lesser person because of my skin color, because of my facial structure, my facial features. These are all things I've grown to love over the years, but I didn't have knowledge of that at that point in time. So I had to walk around with this internal like hate for myself that people can, for whatever your reason, you may have gotten bullied, you may have had trauma in your house, whatever the case may be. You've developed these ideas about yourself that somebody else implanted into your head. Now, how do you break those ideas? You have to, you need something. You must have something that you desire more than the ideas that somebody else is planting into your head. For me, when I
Facts.
joined high school, I didn't know anything. I just came fresh out of middle school. I had no friends. None of my friends that I knew from middle school were going into high school with me. So I was literally, it was like a fresh, brand new restart. So when I went into high school for the first like 3, 4 months, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know any clubs I wanted to join. I didn't want to see anything. I remember I decided, you know what, let me start trying things. Let me try the anime club. Let me try doing this. What else did I try? I think probably a music class or something. Let me start hanging out with kids after school. The one thing that got me really into like finding this inner fire, this inner spark to be like, yeah, this is it. This is gonna break me out of my loop was track and field. Was track and field. I remember I tried out for the track and field practice, and I saw all the different teams. I saw the long distance runners. I saw the javelin throwers. I saw the jumpers. The one team that excelled me, that impressed me the most, were the hurdlers, because the sprinters slash hurdlers. Because when everybody was doing like group running meets together, it was always the sprinters slash hurdlers. They were bigger than everyone else. They were stronger than everyone else. They were faster than everyone else. And the coach looked the most disciplined out of any other coach on the team. And there was something inside my mind. I can't remember why, but there was something that was that spark in my fire. Like, I need to be on this team. I need to be on this team. I need to excel. Because when I first started track and field, when I said I was literally the slowest kid on the entire team, regardless of what it was. It could have been the long distance runners, the javelin throwers. People don't even run were running faster than me. I was getting bodied by everybody. But I'm
Well,
just like, I need to get better. Like, I need to get better. I need this discipline. Discipline. That's the one thing over everything that I learned. that got me really into to having a better mindset is the hard work and discipline I got from playing a sport, from being on a proper team with a coach that actually cared about um elevating the people on his team versus or over, winning a championship or winning the gold medal or the track bag or the track jacket. That's what I got. It was constantly after every practice going an extra hour longer than every other the other sports teams. It was constantly hitting the weight room, hitting the gym. It was constantly having those days where I was tired to even move. There were days where I couldn't get out of bed because we used to train so hard. It's that discipline that helped me first build that self-respect for myself. I started getting better in shape. I started standing taller like a soldier. People started giving me compliments instead of people like making fun of me. I started to slowly but surely rewire my brain to think that I'm awesome versus that, I'm a loser. I can't do this. I can't do that. You need to have a goal. My goal was just to become the best version of myself. And the tool that I got there through was through proper discipline. But Clarkson, you can comment
That's a,
on that if
that's
you
a
need to.
fact, man. Discipline was a really hard thing for me to get over because when I was younger, with this Aries energy, I always tried to rush into things head first without no type of patience. When it came to art, any type of craft I would do, I would try to rush into it fast as possible with no breaks, just and be the master of it. That was just like my thing. But I had to learn the hard way that you have to have patience and discipline to really be able to, like you said, reprogram your brain. It don't just happen like that. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I was a kid, I would get bullied, not physically, but it would be psychologically. Like just like he said, people would say things and it would feel like it didn't get you, but it actually did get you. You know what I'm saying? They'll say little side things that would really like just put you down. And so I had to, like, I have such a loving heart, so I wouldn't really make up defense mechanisms for that. I would just actually take that to heart every single time. And so over time, that was stuff would actually try to start hurting me. You know what I'm saying? To a physical level, like I would be weak because of these drowsy days. So I had to come up with some type of defense to it. But that was when I had to learn about the discipline of, like you said, reprogramming my mind to be, I'm great. You know what I'm saying? I have the power to help people and whatnot, and these people are, some of them just aren't where I'm at. They might be sad or whatnot. So I start thinking of it as when people vent to me, I think of it as I'm like some type of therapist, like I'm helping them instead of it being like, oh, they're just attacking me. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? So I literally had to reverse that mindset, and it was just still the same me. I didn't look no different. It was just my mindset of me thinking, even if this person called me stupid, does that mean that I'm stupid? Does that mean that I'm weak? Does that mean that? Or does that mean that this person is going through something right now and they're venting to me? And maybe I can help them. So when I just change that slight paradigm, all the negative energy is like it's going into me and it's going right back out. And it's actually being transmuted into positive energy that I give to the other person. But that took a long time because for the longest, that would just go straight into me. I'd be like, wow, I'm the worst person on earth. I'm weak. I'm slow. You know what I'm saying? I'm not smart as everybody else. And so just like you said, it took a lot of discipline and doing things the hard way and to having to slow down and really realize that portion of self mastery. Definitely discipline, for sure.
And it's like those are the two key things that I say you need to have because you need to want something more than anything else, whatever that goal is for you. You may not even necessarily know exactly what you want, but here's a good thing. Here's a good way to look at it. If you don't know exactly what you want to do in life, look at the situation you're currently in and you must think this way. I don't want to be in this situation anymore. If you can't find something exactly that you want yet, you must have that same drive to be like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't care where I go. I just don't want to be here anymore. You could use
Facts.
that. That was my original fire. I'm just
Mm.
like, I don't want to be bullied anymore. I don't want to feel bad about myself anymore. I don't care how I get out of this situation. I just don't want to be here anymore. That was my fire that got me. That was my want, that initial push, that spark, that fire energy, that cardinal energy that they would say in astrology that got me pushing forward. And my system, my tool to get me from that point was, like I said, discipline. But again, it could have been anything. It didn't necessarily need to be sports. I'm glad it was sports, but it didn't need to be sports. It was a sense of I needed somebody who already had what I was looking for to teach me. And I'm going to go into these big three things right now. The three ways you can self master yourself is through self education, mentorship, or networking. You need to either have a resource to be able to learn whatever you're trying to learn or learn how to do. Let's say you want to be a painter, you want to learn how to start your own channel, you want to be a video editor, you want to be a basketball player, things like that. You want to be a coach, you want to start your own bakery. There are three main ways you can do that. The first method again is self education, and how you can do that? You can do that by watching videos. You can do that by you can do that by listening to people. You can do audiobooks, or you can do the best method, or the most, read. You could read. You could just grab a bunch of books, get some books, start reading. Start reading. You could either go through video. I started off with video. Video led me to reading books, and after reading books, I finally started doing audio, and I started talking to people. After you do self mastery, because there are a lot of people who could just go down to doing the not self mastery, self education route, and that was very well for them. But if that doesn't work for you, go down the mentorship route. That's the main route I went down to. I went on YouTube and looked up mentors for how to do this, how to do this, how to do that. I personally spent thousands of dollars out of my own pocket for different mentors to just keep me on the right path, keep my mindset going, keep my discipline intact even after high school finished. Because after high school finished, and I didn't have and I was on the track team anymore, what was I gonna do? I was gonna stop being disciplined. I was gonna stop having the mindset to take care of myself. No, you gotta keep it pushing. You gotta keep it going. So I went down the mentorship path, and I don't
Nice.
regret a single dime. I don't regret a single penny I ever spent, because it's because of all of that time, energy, and resource I spent to grow myself, grow my mind, grow myself to who I am. I don't fear nobody anymore.
Hmm.
I don't fear nobody
That's
anymore.
right.
I got respect for I really got respect for everybody, but I fear nobody anymore.
That's
I
a
don't care if you a
fact.
cop, you a lawyer, you from the street, you the president, you an alien, you God himself. I don't fear nobody no more. I don't
Exactly.
fear nobody no more.
Exactly.
It was all worth it. And the final option is like what me and Clarkson are doing right now, networking. Get with somebody who's on your level, who's trying to get and do something and build with you. Pick one of the three methods to start off with. If one way ain't working out for you, try the other two. You're gonna land on one that works for you, and slowly but surely over time try to incorporate all three of those
I
methods.
am so glad you said that, because the most important thing about the conversation we're having right now, with the all three levels he said self education, mentorship, and networking. The main three things that you have to do. But it's one thing that you have to focus on to be able to correctly use those three methods, which is self. Like he said, when you're networking, you need someone who's relatable and on your level, and that goes with all three of them. When it comes to self education, why self education? The reason why it's self education is because all information in the universe is not particularly for you at a specific time in your life. You need information that is relatable to you. So the general information in most schools nowadays might not even pertain to what you're trying to do, or what you're, you know what I'm saying, what you're supposed to be learning at that specific time. So it's important to look into information that resonates with you and what you're doing or what you're interested in. So it's always important to do it yourself, because you're gonna naturally dive towards the information that you want to do without no one telling you. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to give information to Chris that he likes. He's gonna know what he likes more than anyone else on the planet, because it's him. So you gotta self educate. So it's all about self. Second one, mentors. There's so many fraudulent mentors out there. It's ridiculous, because this mentor thing is so popular nowadays. Everyone wants to be a guru and a mentor now. So you got to be even more careful when searching for these mentors, right? And there's a million people who teach the same thing. So how do you decipher? It has to be a feeling. You have to look at this person that you're learning from, and they have to have some version of you in them. They have to have some type of connection. You know what? I feel the same way this person does. And once you have that connection, that's the mentor for you. Like for me personally, like the mentor I have is like a golden mentor that most people don't even know about, and the connection I have with this person is almost like he's my future self. It's like the way he thinks is exactly how I think, and the things and the dreams and aspirations that I have for myself and what I plan to do with this world, he's already doing. So it's like I have a perfect template to just follow, and it's amazing. But it took me years to find someone like that. So you know what I'm saying? I went through so many different mentors who talk about money and whatnot, and they just were never on that type of time that I was on. You know, they would talk about things I was interested in, but it just would never resonate. But this one mentor that I have now, it's like it's almost like a lifetime partnership with this person. So yeah, that's who y'all want to find. Y'all want to find. You can have multiple mentors, but all of them have to have some type of resonating frequency with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the second part. And then with the networking, like he said, you can network with a lot of different people, no matter the skin color or whatnot, but you want to have some type of connection with the person to where they resonate with you and what you are and what you're about. Not just anybody. You know what I'm saying? You can't just have anybody on your team. You know what I'm saying? Your networking has to be some type of familiarity. Like me and Chris, we are on the same page on a lot of things. So it just increases the building even higher. So I'm just glad he brought that up. Self is the main key thing.
Facts, facts. And here's another good tip for finding a mentor that I heard one from Ty.W.B. Find somebody who is in the position you want to be that has like bare minimum 20 years over you. Find somebody like in 20 years you want to be in the same position. That's one of the best
Yeah.
just general ways to find out if that person is somebody you wanna use as your mentor. It's all about that self
Yeah.
because for me personally, my first mentor I could say, or first person I looked up to was my father. So anytime anybody else I found throughout my life had some sort of quality that I saw that I respected from my father, that I slowly but surely over time saw and realized that it's something I wanted for myself. That's all I wanted for myself, and that's how I got on that path.
Yes,
That's how
please.
it worked out for me. When you're when you're mastering self, when you're mastering self, because there are three parts of yourself, or the main three, because I would like to break things down into three, two, or one. I try to
I
keep it as
like
simple
that.
as possible. There's your mind, which we already touched on. There's your body, and then there's your spirit or your soul. That affinity that you feel when you were talking about somebody, or you're looking for mentors and things like that, or you're looking for people to network, or even reading books and you don't want to read through like some garbage books, or you want to find some right information, that's going to be your soul. Your soul is going to be that gut feeling. You feel like this is right, this is wrong, or I want to do this but it seems difficult, but my soul is telling me I should do this. It's like I said, it's your soul. You got to listen to that part. That's your connection to the universe. That's the frequency that you're feeling when you hear and you're talking to people and you're hearing their words, you're seeing their actions. You got to listen to that. Even if the situation puts you, even if that person you're listening to, that book you're reading, that those people you're hanging out with, even though it may seem like um they're doing something that might make your life more difficult, if your soul is telling you yes, listen. If you're with a certain group of people and you're like, oh, this seems great but something feels off, it's because there is something that off. Even
Yeah.
though you may not going to be able to see it immediately, trust me, if your soul is telling you, nah, I'm not feeling this right now, or nah, these people are not in the same lane as me, cut them off. Cut them off, because it's going to be more trouble to you in the future than it's worth. And finally, the last part besides your mind and your soul is your body. Your body. You got to take care of your temple. You got to take care of yourself. You got to, bare minimum, be, if you're a man, you should be anywhere from the 8 to 10% body fat range. If you're a woman, you could be anywhere from 10 to 12, 10 to 12, in 10 to 12 range for body fat. Those are the healthy levels you need for your hormones to function properly. You need for your brain to function properly, for you to be able to move without any back pain, leg pain, for your heart and all the arteries to be clear. You don't need to be super ripped, but you have to be athletically in shape. These things help. You cannot be focused 100% on your mind and ignore your body and your spirit. You can't be 100% focused on your spirit and ignore your body and your mind. You can't be 100% focused on your body and ignore your mind and your spirit. Too many people, a lot of these mentors and people that you see will just focus on one aspect and be of this I belief or ideal system that, oh, throw away everything else, just focus on this and your life will be good. No, 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 there must be balance. There must
Balance.
be balance. There must be balance. Anybody that you've ever read about in history that went 100% down in one path, they lost or burned everything else to go on that one path. What is the point of that? What is the point of giving up everything else that you had just to focus on one particular aspect when there's more to life than that? There's more to life. I'm not saying I'm not saying um it's not good to have a specialty. If you specialize in bodybuilding or being a fitness person, you can do that 60% of the time. 60% of your time could be focused on that. But you gotta equate 20% of your time to working on your mind and the other 20% to working on your spirit. Or you might be good at making money. That could be a 60%, 20% on your body, 20% on your um I forgot what I was going to say. You're working on your body,
Spirit.
then you have 20% spirit, 20% mind.
Yeah.
And the same thing, if you focus on your spirit, you're mostly doing spiritual things, energy healing chakras and things like that too. You gotta focus on your body and you gotta focus on your mind as well. This is how you keep a balance. This is how you keep satisfied throughout your entire life, because the universe is going to throw you situations, is going to put you in karmic situations where things are not going to 100% go your way. So you may be trying to work out to become win a contest for Mr. or Mrs. Olympia or something like that, for example. And then a situation might come up where your family is somebody in your family might need help with something regarding their spirituality, like somebody may have died in the family and they need someone to console them right now. That might be you. You can't just be, I gotta ditch these people 100% to focus on coming up Mr. Olympia. Because again, yes, you may win the tournament, but if you're thinking long term over time, there might come a point in time where you may need that family member if something happens to you. And since you were for them there in that big moment, that, like, they're not going to be there for you when you need them later down the line. This is why I say don't go 100% down in any route or any field. You should bare minimum have go as hard as you can 60% of the time over the course of like 10 years. If you're talking about in a 2 to 3 month time span, yeah, you can probably go hard 100%. But once you hit 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, start lowering it down to 95%, 90%, 85%, and try to keep it within that range. You can't go 100% in anything 24/7. You're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn out.
I'm glad he said that because one of the main reasons why we talk about balance so much is because we want y'all to have the most optimal options when you're doing something. So when it comes, like he said, fitness and anything you do, if you just focus on your mind and not your body, you're just some fat blob, but you're ingenious, you're actually hindering yourself because you could be smarter if your body wasn't fit because your thinking, your thought processes would be more active when you're physically in better health. You see what I'm saying? So you would actually be smarter if your body was intact. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the bodybuilding, if your mind was intact or if you were practicing on your mind, your body would actually be better because you would know the type of things you need to put in your body and whatnot. So it all goes hand in hand. Same with the spirit. You know what I'm saying? If you're just some smart person, but you don't take care of your body, you do take care of your body, but your spirit's not right, you don't know what you could be. You could be an evil person. You know what I'm saying? Who's super smart and looks good. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, it's all three. Like he said, it's the balance. You gotta take care of your spirit, your mind, and your body because they help each other. The spirit helps the body and the mind, and if the body's good, the mind's gonna be good. If the mind's gonna be good, the spirit's gonna be good. You're gonna feel all of them. And that's how you get to the highest lengths of where you need to be or where you want to be. So, I'm glad that he said
Okay. You got any questions for me, real quick?
that. Yeah. So I already asked you how you got over those hurdles of like starting your self mastery journey. But another question that I had for you was, is it hard to get the inspiration? Like I know you said it was like a journey for you, and you saw certain people, like you said with the track and whatnot. But like, how do you continue doing that? Because some people find the spark, but then they lose it. So what was the inspiration for you to just continue, evolving in everything you're doing and whatnot? How'd you find that?
That's a beautiful question. Beautiful question. Because a lot of people go through that. I'm not gonna say I'm perfect. I'm not gonna say there are a lot of moments in time, especially when I starting off, when I would give up, start again, give up, start again, give up, start again. But
Same.
guess what? Even though you give up, it's not forever. It's not forever. I rather somebody give up 100 times but start again versus someone who starts, go does it well for a long period of time, stops, and then never starts again. I rather you keep failing until you get it versus having this idea and notion that you got to be on it and as soon as you get off of it, it's over. That's not how life works. That's not how life works. A lot of people, because of this society that we live in nowadays, have this misconception that success in anything that you try and do is it's either you get it or you don't. That's not how it works. You can't name me one person, not one person in history that got it right on the first try, first go, and everything went perfectly right. There's not one person in history. You can name me any type of success story you want to tell me. I guarantee you there's a cost behind that. I guarantee you that person had to put in 10, 20, 30 years talking to people, grinding, setting himself up, setting herself up in a scenario and situation to put them there so that they can become that overnight success. In the words of Gary Vee, that doesn't exist. An overnight
Facts.
success doesn't exist. Everybody had to put in their work. Nobody in the universe, nobody in this universe, nobody on this planet gets something that they doesn't deserve. This is how I had to think. For me to understand that this is a journey, that is a lifelong journey, I had to not only break it down on a mindset level, I had to break it down on a just a fundamental universal level. Like, how does everything work? For example, somebody who plants their seeds in the ground are going to expect to get crops. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to have a situation, you don't want to live in a world where there isn't rules. You don't want to be in a situation where you plant your seeds in the ground and then they don't grow, and then somebody else who didn't plant seeds at all, and then suddenly there's like an entire garden, in their backyard. You want a world where there's rules. You want a world where if you put in the energy and you put in the effort, you're going to see results. You don't want a random world where anybody can get anything randomly. You want a system where if you do A and B is going to equal C. That's the kind of world that we live in. And when I started to realize that, I started to realize that, oh, it's not just a one or done type scenario. It's not just, oh, this world is just by chance. Everything is by luck. That person just happens to be luckier than me. Yes, there are situations where people are more blessed than other people, but even then, somebody had to work. They had to use their mind. They had to listen to their spirit. They had to place their body in the right situation for them to come out being lucky, for them to get that blessing. People who have a lack of information, which goes back to the mind, people who have a lack of information just like to see life one way. They like to see life as in it's random. I can control it. I don't have all of these sub passive, all of these just give up mentality type situations. And it's not most people's fault because the media just plays and portrays society in a certain way that certain people are rich. You have to do X, Y, and Z to gain money. And if you're not doing X, Y, to Z and gain money, I guess you don't have money. I guess you don't have relevance. I guess you don't have status. It's all because of that. When I got to that point in my life when I was failing and trying over again, failing and trying over again, I began to realize that 100% that this this is how life works. We live in a world that has rules. And when you learn to love the rules and learn to just accept the world for what it is, it's not something to be depressed about. That's something to be happy about.
It's
I wake up every
amazing.
day lit. I wake up every day just lit, ready for the next day. Because no matter what happened, even though I don't personally know the reason why, like for example, I don't know why it's raining outside right now, but there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. And if you keep your mindset happy, even when it rains, you can get anything done in life. You can't let the weather, you can't let what somebody said to you can't let a situation you weren't prepared for ruin and mess up your entire day. You can't let it do that because these things happen. And again, everything happens for a reason. If you want to say the world is random, you're gonna have to prove that. You're gonna have to prove that to me. I will debate anybody on that. I'll debate anybody on that. There's a reason why all of this is happening. And I can explain that, but I ain't getting into this. I'll make separate videos. I send
Right.
it the clocks, and I made a bunch of videos on my channel already explaining how the universe works.
Oh yeah,
Explaining how the universe works.
I'm gonna have to check
All
those
of them.
out.
I'll send you the links to them later. But to just wrap it up real clear, how do you break that mindset? How do you break that mindset? Trial and error. Honestly, trial. You gotta be willing to fail. You gotta be willing to fail. You gotta realize that failure is a part of success. You gotta be willing to try something, suck at it, and then get back on it again. I'm telling you, because over time you're gonna learn that it's fun to fail. I don't want people who always gotta say, I gotta win 24/7. I gotta win 24/7. If you win in 24/7, how you gonna get better? You don't get better if you win 24/7. If you win in 24/7, you're capped. Because if nobody can beat you, there's nobody to test you anymore, which means you can't get even better anymore. I don't want somebody that can beat me in a fight. I want to push myself so I can know, yep, there's one more step I can climb. I'm about climbing the ladder. I don't care about sitting on the top. That's boring to me. Just being at the top of the ladder. I want to work my way to the top. And when I get to the top, there better be some more stairs that I couldn't see from the bottom. So I'm going to keep on climbing.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I want to do.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, because I literally heard a quote on Instagram about some mentor saying, the only way to success is to fail your way to it. So you got to keep failing. And when you fail, that's just another step of what you're not supposed to do. So you're basically getting the keys of what you're supposed to do because you know what you're not supposed to do. So when you keep failing, there's only one other way, which is success. So you just got to keep failing until you hit. And I love that you said that. So that's genius and brilliant. Okay, you just kept failing, and you realize it's fun to fail because you learn more every time. It's all an experience.
That's
I like that.
Right.
Okay.
I love how you said that too. How would you? I'm gonna ask you the same question now. How did you break out of your slump?
For me, honestly, this goes back to I know it's weird, but it goes back to anime again, and this one's for Naruto. See, Naruto's a really special character because of his upbringing. He never knew he was a special person, even though he was. He's a fourth Hokage's son. He has a Jinkurichi inside of him. He has all these great powers. He was gifted with the power to have so much chakra within him. Like, he's a very special character. He's one of the most powerful characters on the show, even from the beginning. But he didn't know that. When he came into the world of Naruto, he had no friends, no parents. He had step parents. He had no one who really had his back, especially when he was going into it. But he somehow had this charismatic attitude, and he literally forced himself to make friends because he had nothing, right? So looking at somebody like that and literally seeing their success and their journey by just having it's the raw will to just not give up and just push through it regardless, no matter what you went through. So I'm like, okay, well, I look at my life. I have my parents, you know what I'm saying? I have some family that actually cares about me. So if Naruto could do that with nothing, I think I could do something with something, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I was thinking. I'm like, you know what? Let me leverage what I have. You know, my life is bad, you know, but I got to stop looking at it as bad. You know what I'm saying? My life is actually kind of good, you know? And that kind of inspired me to look at any type of good thing I ever have had in my life and then just stack that on top of the bad and just kind of push the bad down and look at the good only. So when I started looking at the good only, like I said, I was able to navigate through the world looking at things to a positive perspective. So when I would see cops, I wouldn't necessarily get scared because, you know, the whole world would say I was supposed to get scared, but I kind of wouldn't. And so because of that, when a cop would walk up to me, he'd be like, wow. A cop actually told me, like, wow, it's been a long time since someone looked at me as a regular human. And he was like, he actually shook my hand. I'm like, it's just a regular dude. But because of the way I looked at that person, like, he's just a random dude with a uniform on, and he's just in his car. I didn't look at him as, oh, this scary guy might shoot me. Because of my perspective and the energy I was giving off, he was like, whoa, who are you? And so that's really what what kind of changed my mindset is that if Naruto can do it, I know I can do it. So that kind of pushed me. Even though it's really important to look into yourself, it's almost like Naruto is a reflection of me. You know what I'm saying? So I saw that in Naruto, and I saw that same fire in myself. Honestly, I saw it in myself. I looked deep within myself. I'm like, you know what? Because the areas that I have in me, it's almost like I want to challenge everything, no matter what it is. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and so when I get real down, deep, and depressed, it's like the further I go down, the higher I go up. So like, my problem right now is that I never get too depressed. I'm always in this middle lane to where I do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I might not be too inspired, but I never get to the point where I'm super depressed. I'm in this middle zone, which is what I'm working on now. But back in the day, I would get super depressed, and then I would just be super inspired. It was like that. And so, but the Aries energy in me always had a way to fire back up. So when I would go depressed to the lowest point of my life, I'm like, wow, this is like some anime challenge that I got to go fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at the bottom, and I can fight my way up. And when I was at like my lowest point, I'm like, wow, look what life is giving to me right now. You know what I'm saying? I wonder what happened if I would actually turn this around. So that thought, that wonder, that if, just the question of what would happen if I did this was my inspiration. Just the what if.
But hey, that too, the what if. You say what if, I used to say why not.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah.
Why not? Nobody.
Yeah.
I used to be mad. How did I say, like, cynical when I was a kid. I'm just like, hey, nobody likes me anyways. I might as well go talk to her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I ain't got no friends.
Exactly. As well.
I'm just like, yo, especially if you're somebody who's young watching this channel too, and you're trying to get through high school or middle school, wherever you at, and you're just afraid to talk to somebody for every reason, again, do that what if. That best strategy we're gonna give you, do that what if, or why not? If you ain't got a lot of friends, why not talk to him? If that guy don't like you anyways, why not you don't tell him, hey, you know, I'm me.
What do you got to lose? Just do it. What do you got to lose?
You got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Now we got bills to pay and things like that, so we got some things to lose. But
yeah. Now we do for sure. But yeah, that's a fact. I love that we build on that. So we going on 43 minutes. This is a powerful build. You want to close it out?
Anything else I want to cover on this? Nah, that was about it. 45 minutes. Yeah, that's good.
That was powerful. Yeah.
So, this has been the second episode of Together We Build. Trust me, guys, as this goes on, bro, you're going to see intros. We're going to get everything set up. We're going to got more people on the call. We're going to get you on the call. Instagram was down today. This is for the record. Instagram, Facebook, all of that was down today. But we still got the live running. We still jump through the hoops just to get the live running. This is what we do. That's it. This is what this is about. We don't let nothing stop us. They can't stop us no matter what they try. We keep going. And now my Zoom is starting to freeze. You see, it's the energy.
That's a fact. They're like, whoa. That's powerful. And for y'all that's watching, we've been trying to, I know y'all see in the descriptions and the audio, in the about page, that it's supposed to be another co-host here. He's not here yet. We're going to get him on next time, hopefully. He's been doing his own thing with the sound. Make sure y'all still go follow him on Instagram at I Am The Sound God. We're going to try to get him on here for the next show, y'all. He is the third co-host for this show. It's three of us, all right? It's not just us two. It's three of us. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. We have a lot of new things coming soon, but make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Follow all of us on Instagram and whatnot. Each of us have YouTubes. I have my YouTube channel. He has his YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us. And yeah, this is episode 2 of T.W.B. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.